I told you, Mika. Watch this.
Our world is truly a mystery. Many unknown creatures pop up within Earth every now and then, without any logical explanation as to where the hell they might come from. Many of these so-called outside monsters have been caught on tape, but some have already been identified. It's true that the internet is full of hoax videos, but within this countdown, we are showing the realest and most unexplained sightings ever recorded, so make sure you stay till the end. Trust me. With this being said, prepare, because here are 5 mysterious creatures caught on camera and spotted in real life part 2. Ready? Well, let's begin. Number 5, the unknown sea monster. The footage about to be shown was recorded in a pond in Iceland in 2012. The video shows a guy recording the waters of the pond in a cloudy day when all of a sudden and out of complete nowhere, he catches something insanely large under the water that is nowhere near the size of a water snake. Many believe that the creature captured inside the clip is the so-called Loch Ness monster, but you be the judge on what is seen. Here it is. Number 4, Ninjin. The video you're about to see shows a creature named Ninjin. You might be asking, what the hell is a Ninjin? Well, Ninjin is a humanoid sea creature with long arms and similar characteristics of a human that has been rumored to exist since the 1990s. Since then, there have been people claiming to have seen one. No one has ever come forward with any real evidence of this fictional sighting, except the one you're about to see right now. All captured by an expedition ship in the United States, I present to you Ninjin. Let me know what you think about this small clip. Here it is. Number 3, the tsunami creature. The footage about to be shown was recorded on the 11th of March of 2011, and it took place on the day the devastating tsunami of Japan occurred. The tsunami of 2011 was without a doubt the strongest one up to date, and something very weird indeed was caught during the event. This next video was recorded by an anonymous person, and it shows a mysterious-like creature that came straight from the waves of the tsunami. No one can really identify this strange-like sighting, but what about you? Well, here is the footage.
Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Oh, you see that?
Number 2, the creature of Portugal. The video you're about to see was recorded in Portugal in 2016. Inside the video, a man appears to be recording when all of a sudden, something with the looks of a humanoid-like creature is seen walking on site. Specialists have seen this footage over and over again, and up to this day, the creature is still unidentified. People guess that the creature shown might be a chupacabra or a Bigfoot, but what do you think? Here it is. Shenzhen department. The creature was found swimming in contaminated waters, but the employees that were nearby managed to capture it and was eventually put inside a cage. What's strange about it is that this bizarre looking creature has never been seen before, and it by plantation workers in the Shenzhen department. Nearby managed to capture it and was eventually put inside a cage. What's strange about it is that this bizarre-looking creature has never been seen before and it acts like no other. Anyways, enough with the talk, right? Here is the video. Drop a like and share it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe down below.
Go subscribe.
Japan is one of the most earthquake vulnerable countries in the world. In 2011, an earthquake with a magnitude of 9.0 hit the Pacific coast of Tohoku, and the results were heartbreaking. One of the saddest things about tsunamis is the destruction that it leaves in its wake. There were over 15,000 deaths reported after the tragedy, and more than 100,000 buildings were collapsed. Property and life of biblical proportions were destroyed, and within this list, we are showing 5 things found after Japanese tsunami. Ready? Well, let's begin. Number 5. Japanese ghost ship. After the Japanese earthquake, it was estimated that over 22 million tons of debris were washed away into the sea. Included in this statistic is an old fishing ship that had come to be known as the Japanese ghost ship. It was discovered some 120 miles off the Canadian coast, and the owner indeed confirmed. A lot of people cannot explain how and why it did not sink, at the least. Number 4. Harley-Davidson. A Harley-Davidson was discovered on the Canadian coast 1 year after the tsunami hit Japan. The owner of the bike, Yukuyo Yokoyama, was also found thanks to the license plate number on the bike, which was still cleared despite...
Hola. Tsunami. No one can really identify this strange-like sighting, but what about you? Well, here is the footage.
Few of us don't associate some of our brightest childhood memories with the magical world of Disney. In this enchanted realm, anything was possible. Animals came alive, fairy godmothers existed, and good characters always got their well-deserved happy ending. Disney allowed us to indulge in some innocent fantasy, and for that, we love it. However, is the magical kingdom really as innocent as it appears? Let's begin. Number 5. The real Pocahontas. We remember Pocahontas as a kind-hearted Native American princess who introduces John Smith to the wonders of nature and saves him from execution. In fact, Pocahontas is based on a real character, and her story a lot darker than Disney's romanticized portrayal. First of all, the real Pocahontas was a girl of 11, whereas John Smith was 28. She really did save him from execution, but soon after was captured and held hostage for 1 year as ransom for some English prisoners. She was released upon her agreement to marry John Rolfe, a European who arranged for her Christian baptism as Rebecca. 2 years later, Rolfe brought his new wife to England to use as a propaganda campaign to promote good relations between England and the Native Americans. Most tragically, the real Pocahontas never returned to her native Virginia, as she fell gravely ill before the journey and died at the tender age of 21. Number 4. The Lion King and Hamlet. The Lion King is perhaps the most loved Disney film of all time. Who could ever think of comparing it to Shakespeare's super dark, bloody tragedy Hamlet? You'd be shocked, but the similarities are eerily many. Firstly, both stories concern royal families. Also, the central heroes, Hamlet and Simba, are the sons of murdered fathers. Can you already guess the next ones? They both have evil uncles that are likely suspects for the murders of their fathers. In Hamlet's case, this is Claudius. In Simba's, Scar. Both princes also experience ghostly apparitions of their fathers, and both must battle their uncles. To top all off, they both have a couple of loyal friends and a love interest. Who can deny the plot similarities now? Number 3. The Dark Origins of Sleeping Beauty. It's difficult to deny that the story of Sleeping Beauty, despite being stunningly beautiful, was always a little haunting. Remember that eerie soundtrack? Either way, in the Disney version, the Princess Aurora is put to sleep by pricking her finger on a spindle and is romantically reawakened by the kiss of a handsome prince. They ride away together and live a life of love and happiness. However, there was also an original Sleeping Beauty tale where things were nowhere near as pretty. In fact, they were downright gruesome. The original princess was permanently asleep due to a prophecy and was not sweetly kissed, but raped by a king who saw her sleeping. He impregnates her, and while still asleep, she becomes a mother to 2 children, one of whom sucks her finger, removing the flax that prevented her from waking up. So she wakes up to an entirely new life, to say the least. Number 2, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is true that misfortune follows the disfigured yet lovable Quasimodo even in the Disney version of the story. However, the film was based on Victor Hugo's novel of the same title, and there, events unfolded in a much darker manner. In the film, Quasimodo accepts that Esmeralda doesn't love him romantically, although he is obviously upset by this, but in the book, he betrays her and she is hanged in a public square as a result. Feeling guilty and desperate, Quasimodo kills Frollo, then embraces Esmeralda's corpse and doesn't leave her until he himself dies of starvation. Their bodies are only separated after 18 months. Call it dark romance? Number 1, Pinocchio. Admittedly, this one was always a little creepy. Remember the scene with all the abandoned donkeys standing in the moonlight? It's enough to make you shudder. Could the origins of Pinocchio be even more disturbing? In fact, the animated film as made by Disney was inspired by a 19th century newspaper called The Adventures of Pinocchio. There are quite a few differences between the two. The talking cricket, for example, has a much less significant role in the original story. In fact, Pinocchio, in a moment of fury, crushes him with the blow of a hammer. However, karma follows him thereafter, and eventually his feet get burned off. Lesson learned? And there you have 5 darkest Disney secrets that'll blow your mind. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and share it, and if you haven't already...
12 terrifying ancient creatures. Number 12, Hallucigena. It has taken science 50 years of research with these strange fossils